To the African diaspora, a lot of people are upset at the word tether. So let me explain what tether means. Tether is not really an insult, it's a descriptive term. It doesn't describe an African immigrant or somebody who's Afro-Latino, it describes an action. Like, for example, if you watch the movie Sinners, did you know that the first black vampire was Cornbread? First one was Cornbread. You know, the actor who plays Cornbread is actually not from a freedman lineage. I think he's from the Caribbean. You don't think that was on purpose? Ryan Coogler, in an interview, the guy who directed Sinners, he said that he was FBA, Foundational Black American. You don't think that Cornbread being the first black vampire was on purpose? That is symbolism. And that's why I love that movie. That is symbolism. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of people who are outside of our lineage, a lot of times, sometimes, not every time, but sometimes have opinions that are detrimental to our lineage here in Black America, the people who descended from the Black American slaves. Prime example, reparations, right? The Pew Research Center said in 2022 and also 2023 that 77% of Black Americans want reparations. Of the ones who don't, the vast majority are Black immigrants or Afro-Latino. Even amongst Black Americans who are mixed race, they still want it in a majority. The only time you see difference, once again, Black immigrants and Black and Afro-Latinos or the Black Hispanics. Okay? Now, aside from that, you look at the opinions of police. A lot of times, African immigrants who don't understand that law enforcement has this grounding in the slave patrol, they have different beliefs, no matter the age group. But then you go look at other issues like, prime example, white supremacy. A lot of African immigrants have a very different relationship to white supremacy than we do here in Black America. I'll give you a prime example, a practical example, not with an African immigrant, but with an Afro-Latino. It was a young black man named Jamie Johnson who was gunned down by an officer in Florida. The officer's name was Hoshu Gariga, Afro-Latino. This guy was anti-black, was sitting there texting with his white buddies about how we black people ain't shit. I mean, all kind of stuff. And then this guy was caught with a 17-year-old, so he got arrested and put away. But again, that shows you this Afro-Latino had this kind of belief. And if you look at some of the deputy gangs, the black officers who do join are Afro-Latino. None of them are fucking FBA. I know, I happen to be an expert on that. I'm mentioning court documents, federal court documents exposing this shit. Okay? I wish somebody would. Oh, I wish somebody would. My wife is a goddamn stenographer. And one of the reasons why she even married me is because she saw that shit. So please don't play games. All right? That shows you tethering. Do you kind of get it with all those examples? Tethering is when you use blackness to blend in with us, but you're nothing like us. So a lot of people are really, really upset at how we're circling the wagons around our lineage, about how we're trying to protect our interests like every other group. And when you react negatively to that, that kind of adds more suspicion to you. I started off giving the example from the movie Sinners. And Sinners was all about black people circling the fucking wagons, but particularly black Americans. And yet you don't get it. Yet you sit there and quote the movie, you say how great it was and everything else, and you don't get the undertones we were setting there. And that's what tethering is when you want to be is when you want to be us, but you don't have the same experience or the link to the land, and so you just don't get it. You don't pick up on stuff like that, but we do. Because that movie and what you're hearing about reparations, about the police, about white supremacy, that's been our fucking reality. We don't have a different relationship with that stuff. But some of you do. And then it's when you use your blackness to cosplay as us. And then interject some bullshit opinion, some coon ass opinion. That's tethering. I would not go over to freaking Jamaica and tell them how to live. That's not my place. That's not my homeland. I wouldn't go over to freaking Haiti, even though I put out deep dives about Haiti, about how the freaking CIA and the FBI and US freaking US intelligence harmed Haiti. Yes, I put that out there, but I would never go over to their country and tell them how to live. That's not my lineage. Those aren't my people. I would never go to the African continent knowing that they have that many tribes out there, a bazillion tribes, but I'm going to go and tell them about what they should do. That's not my place. And that attitude of me having, it's not my place because I have my people here to influence and talk to and be around, that opinion is not an opinion that many people, not saying everybody, but many people who come over here, that is not an opinion they fucking share. Now, a lot of people say, well, black people aren't a monolith. You're right. We are not a monolith, except for when it comes to lineage. When it comes to lineage, we agree on reparations, about the cops, white supremacy, that kind of stuff. Is that not a little bit monolithic? There are some things you expect from some parts of the freaking diaspora over others. You see skin bleaching in certain parts of the freaking diaspora. We're not known for that. All right. Certain things that we do here, like Tutnese, Gullah, Hoodoo, that is pretty exclusive. You only really see it here because we made the shit. But other things that we've made, some people from the African diaspora, white people too, other groups too, Hispanics, Asians too, have taken and claimed for themselves. Another reason why we're circling the wagons. That's why Cornbread was the first black vampire. See, we told this guy from a different part of the freaking diaspora, don't you go near them freaking vampires. And what did he do? So I just want you to understand, tethering is an act. It is a descriptive term. It's not just because you're a black immigrant or Afro-Latino. You got to be that and bring the action. The same way some of y'all call us Akatas, Jareers, Yankees, Abids. Yeah, all these freaking pejoratives. You call us all this stuff, but then you come over here and you get upset when we have a term for a person who undermines us. Yeah, funny how that works.